Hello, and welcome to Influential Thursday on the Joan Henry Show. And while I wait for a few more folks to join in on this amazing conversation we're about to have, let me take this time to hope that everyone is staying in and following orders as far as this COVID-19. And so that you're staying in so that you and your family can be safe in all of this. Okay, nobody's trying to get into any unnecessary trying to make any unnecessary trip to the hospital. So again, while I wait for a few more folks to join in, I want to thank those who will be listening or watching the replay. And if you're there, just give me a thumbs up so that I know that you are watching, because we have some great information this evening that I would hate for you to miss any portion of this amazing broadcast tonight. All right. So again, welcome to Influential Thursday on the Joan Henry Show. I'm your host, Jamaican Joan, and of course, I'm super excited about today's broadcast. And if you're tuning in for the first time, the Joan Henry Show is designed to bring you a weekly series of exciting programs that will inform, educate, and inspire you to start or take your business to another level. The show covers topics such as mindset, goal setting, turning your passion into profit, and a host of other business and motivational topics. Special shout out to all those who are watching live, those who will be listening to the replay. All my local audience, I thank you. And of course, as always, I got to do my international shout out. The Bahamas, Cayman Islands, London, Canada, and Jamaica. You hear the special Jamaica, because, you know, my people, they listen, they support, and I just love my folks. I love everybody. So anyway, tonight's featured guest is Mr. Derek Barnes, whom I will introduce shortly. So tonight's mindset quote comes from Joan Henry. Yes, I'm doing my own quote tonight, right? And it says, living your best life begins outside of your comfort zone. Let me say that again. Living your best life begins outside of your comfort zone. So I know this amazing young man that I'm about to have a conversation with, but since you don't, let me tell you a little bit about him. He's a husband, a father, author, entrepreneur, and community activist. Born and raised in Baltimore City, Derek Barnes came through the public school system and right into public servitude. From working as a corrections officer and later retiring as a Baltimore City firefighter. Together with his wife, Akeisha Barnes, and family, a host of businesses have been created that the community has grown to know, love, and support. These are companies such as Cultural Essence, Clear Vision, Cultural Essence Cares, Soup Solutions, and Voices, Hearts, and Hands. Together, these businesses work hard to motivate, educate, feed, and care for the community. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Derek Barnes to Influential Thursday on the Joan Henry Show. Mr. Barnes, how are you today?
I'm magnificent, Ms. Henry. It's good to see you again, and thank you for this august opportunity to be on your platform.
Okay, awesome. So let's just jump right into it. So I just name a few businesses that you are involved with.
Yes.
So how did you get your idea or concept for these businesses?
A lot of times, it comes from our heart in our minds. My wife and I, Keisha and I, we throw ideas back and forth constantly. We're constantly trying to look for multiple streams of income, but not just multiple streams of income. Something that the community needs. We strive to create a need to serve a need in our community. How can we do business, but at the same time meet a need that our community or other communities may need? So a lot of times it comes out of our heart and our mind, trying to push it forward, pay it forward, or be a servant in some kind of way to our community.
Okay, awesome. So I know now more than ever, people are using social media to do business. What are your social media strategies?
My social media strategies would be, just to keep the brand out there, refresh the brand, and stay and keep a ear out for current events and what's going on. Try to link into what's going on right now to the best of your ability. If I may, with an example such as my book, The Science of Manhood: Steps to Self-Improvement, we were striving to meet the obstacles that we were finding and within outside and within law enforcement in our communities, the violence and the loss of life across the country. These are the things that we took into account when writing the book. So we use social media to push further along across the waters in different communities, different states. That's how I use social media. Not just clicking the button, but trying to stay in contact with our supporters, our fans, and so forth like that to answer any questions.
Okay, awesome. So how do you describe your work style?
My work style,
Mhm.
I have it's been described as a horrific pace. We're always working, rather in front of the screen or behind it, or in the streets out in the community. That's how I would describe it. We don't work. We don't stop when we're tired. We stop when we're done. That's what we do. Within all of our businesses, all of our efforts, we strive to just meet the need again, and generate that energy, keep that work ethic going. You're not always going to be in front of the camera. You're not always going to be at some event. Sometimes it's as simple as addressing a young man, a young woman that might just need an encouragement. And that happens from the other side of the camera. A lot of times you hear us on social media and so forth reaching out, but your efforts have to go beyond social media. That's what I believe. So that goes into the work ethic.
Okay, let me go back a little bit.
Sure.
So I mentioned a few of your business earlier. Clear Vision, Cultural Essence Cares, Soup Solutions, and Voices, Hearts, and Hands. Can you
Yes.
just give us a breakdown about these businesses and how they
Sure.
connect to each other?
Sure, no problem. Clear Vision, which is our foundation for the launch of the Science of Manhood and some other projects that will be coming forth. Also, we have Cultural Essence, which is quality natural skincare. My wife and I, we make all natural skincare products. We deliver in the city and we ship all around the world. We've been doing that approximately 5 years this month.
Mm.
So that way we can again meet the need of skincare and skin issues in our community. Also, we have Soup Solutions, Cultural Essence Cares. They kind of link up. Before Soup Solutions was launched, Cultural Essence Care. What we did, we after my wife would get off work and our day was done, we would make up pots and pots of soup to go and distribute to our less fortunate homeless community and so forth like that. People who may need that at that time, and it's not many of us. It was just my wife and I, and we would make the soup and we would take it out and serve the people as best we can. Then we have Voices, Hearts, and Hands, which is an outstanding EMS service that my wife just launched with the assistance of teaching companies, classes, and so forth on the importance of CPR, training them for CPR, any businesses or organizations that may need that for their employees or their staff. I worked along with my wife. It's her direct business, but we're always together in whatever business venture we do. So I'm backing her as she goes out throughout the state of Maryland, solidifying and locking people in with learning CPR and first aid.
Okay. So, what are the main ingredients of your business success?
Hunger. A long time ago, I used to watch the great Les Brown continuously. There's so many videos out there, but uh, I got to get it how I get it, Joan. I would look at the same video like multiple times throughout the day. I would listen to it on repeat while I'm making products or while I'm writing, because you do have to be hungry. You have to be hungry. I wouldn't want to change those words at all. It does come from the great Les Brown that inspired me. You have to be hungry. You have to want more. You have to go beyond sight and activate your vision so that you can see, not only see, but see where you're needed.
Okay. Well, as you know, creativity plays a big role in sustainability, right? Would you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
So, what are some of the creative things that you have done for your business?
Oh man, the creative thing I've done is just renewing the energy. Unlike many, and I'm not taking shots at anybody, but uh, there are very few authors. There are many who write many books, but the follow through, Joan, is very important. So what I like to use myself as an example, the follow through with the book is important. So the footwork, shaking hands, being in the community, knowing who these community organization leaders are, knowing who these restaurant owners are in our communities and so forth like that. So this is what we do to further our message, to get it out there. You have to do the footwork. You have to build relationships. Everything isn't done from behind the computer, hitting like and just sending your message. You have to be the message. When people greet you, you have to have that. They can't be a fan of the book and then meet me and they're highly offended or I have nothing to say in person. I have to be just as energy filled. I have to be just as insightful as I am when they click on.
Okay. Because I want to be a business owner, but I do believe that having priorities play a big role in, being successful. So, what are your top three priorities and why?
Top three priorities would be, of course, faith, family, and stability. Why I picked those three, Joan, is because without faith, we all fall short. And we're going to fall short. But that's the importance of faith, having something to refuel your tank when you get low. So that the foundation, having a foundation and family, having a why. A lot of us do things, but we don't ever explain the why. To be able to take care of my family, to do things with my family, to start creating generational wealth. These are the goals. That's why family is so important, and it's in there. It's almost like twice instead of once, but they all kind of go together. And that's stability, creating a foundation, a sound foundation to launch your ideas, to launch your passion, to be able to invite people and move forward together. So those three.
So, an ever-changing business industry, right? So if you could change one thing about your business, what would it be and why?
Hmm. Actually, by Almighty God's grace, I'm thoroughly satisfied. Uh,
Mhm.
the things that I want to see change comes in time, Joan. I'm a big fan of starting small and growing large. I wanna grow into the position that God has blessed us to do. I want my wife and I to grow into that. We're not trying to just run too fast. And what I mean by that, we'll see many who may launch a business, and it's one thing to launch a business, but it's another thing to maintain it. So it's important that we never forget that. Never forget that. You have to lock in and see where your opportunity is. See where your opportunity is and see where the need is. Again.
Mhm. So with everything that's going on, with the entire world on standstill or just moving really slow,
Yes.
I am sure that it has placed constraints on several businesses. So, what are the constraints that it may have placed on your business as of like today?
Right. Well, us just as many others, we're affected by shipments. If you need ingredients for your products, containers, and so forth like that, the mail isn't moving as smooth as it usually does. So those type of things we're dealing with, but we're taking advantage of the downtime to recreate, to rejuvenate. We're making the most out of this time. So many ideas are going to be launched from this, and I hope the same for many other business owners, because it has slowed everything down to a certain pace. But make use of the downtime. Use your mind, use your heart to activate the passions. So many people, I want to write a book. I want to start this business. Start doing your homework. Start educating yourself while you have the downtime. Rejuvenate the businesses you presently have. You know, bring your ideas to life. But other than slowing things down, mail ingredients and so forth like that, and the contact that we would usually have at vending events, of course, that has changed. But we've built a strong social media support system, and people can always contact us.
Okay, I'm going you to give your contact information momentarily, but
Sure.
as referencing your bio earlier, this is a family affair. So, how has your family contributed to the business?
Oh man, that's so important for any entrepreneur. Family first. When our ideas, we take it to family first. Some of them are watching here tonight. They support us, they back us, they encourage us. So family is important. It always starts with my wife and I. It starts with us. The smallest idea, the smallest bit of passion, we bring it to life, bouncing it off of each other's mind, sharing with each other about our goals, and bringing things into fruition down the line. So family is very important. But I just want to encourage those who family members of entrepreneurs. I know it looks different. I know it looks like they're always on to something, but it's important that you show support for your family. It may not always be monetary. Sometimes it's just a phone call to let them know that they're doing a good job. People in the street can support all day long, which that's supported, then that's welcome too. But it means a lot more when you have family members that display that they're proud of you, and that you have their full support. So family is very important.
Okay. So, what was that thing that made you decided to become an entrepreneur? How did that get started?
Oh man, as a young man, I heard the words "do for self or suffer the consequences," and I sat back and was like, "Wow!" and thought about that and understood that we can be creators instead of consumers. So I took the energy from our outstanding ancestors, not just in Black History Month, but throughout the year, throughout the year, studying their approach, studying their words, studying their writings and so forth. What was it that made Martin Luther King want to go forward and address the world with the needs of trash men and so forth and so on, and civil rights? Okay, what took Reginald F. Lewis? What was it that inspired him? So I just take a little bit from everywhere to build that staircase to go further. And I'm extremely thankful.
Okay, awesome. So, who is that person that motivates you? Of course, besides God, your wife, your family, like who is that other person? Who's your motivation, or should I say what? Who or what, either way.
Sure, it's a few things, but we can pinpoint it down to an individual, which I got to mention in any interview that I do from here to across the country, across the water, is to thank a gentleman by the name of Isaac Hemphill. He was a high school teacher of mine who actually approached me in one of my darkest moments and offered me the opportunity to take things to another level. I didn't know at that time what he was speaking of, but it had a lot to do with books and just enriching myself with relationships that would take my life further. And it actually ended up changing my whole life, Joan, to a great degree. So Isaac Hemphill, whom unfortunately, there just isn't enough there just isn't enough words in the English language to thank him enough. If I combined all of the languages into one, it would still not be enough to thank that man for taking the time to ignite the fire in my heart and mind.
Okay, awesome. And I know that you're building, opportunities for your community and, the people of the community, of course. So if your community could do one thing to help you grow even more, what would that be?
Oh, man. To support beyond the button on social media, the like button.
Mhm.
We need more than that. And I'm just not speaking for myself, Joan. I know it's a broad question, but for entrepreneurs, period. Support your entrepreneurs when you get wind of them, regardless, be it flyer or you meet them and you see that they're doing something that's upright and they're trying to enrich the community by bringing forth businesses. Support them. And again, like I said, it isn't always monetary, but when it is monetary and you can help them, support them and let them know that you believe in them. So to answer your question, it would be to support. Take the time out of your day. Sometimes you may have to drive a little further. You have to be a little bit more patient with each other. And that's one thing that I would like to see is just for us to have a little bit more patience in our support for our entrepreneurs.
Okay. So we are nearing the end of the show. So if there is that one person watching now, or maybe tuning later to the watch party, who may
Okay.
want to start a business, but they just need a little encouragement to do so. They just can't get it together.
Okay.
What words of encouragement would you leave for that person here on Influential Thursday?
Okay. Is to take responsibility for your dream, your passion, your idea. It's yours. It starts in your heart and your mind. And educate yourself to the field on which you're entering. Do the homework. Read up on it. Read up on the coverage in your area in terms of the businesses or business that you're looking to start. Educate yourself and show proper respect to your business. Don't just do anything. You take as many calculated steps as you can. Because again, anybody can start a business, Joan, but it takes a very special person to maintain a business. This is what prevents the grand opening and the grand closing. You understand what I'm saying? Too many times we see that because we're full of ideas. I want to start this business. Educate yourself and refuel yourself so that when these businesses come into fruition, that you can guide it. You can point it in the direction where it needs to be pointed in and tell the world about it. So that's my thing.
Okay, awesome. So, how can people find you, follow you, get in touch with you? Would you happen to have a sample of your product nearby?
Oh, I got a little something. Wait a minute. Here we go. I got something. I got some cultural essence.
Okay,
Sh- if I may, Joan, I wanted to share something special with you.
absolutely.
We mentioned this crisis that we're in the middle of, and I want people to know that even though we're in the middle of a crisis, Christ is. And don't forget that. Stay focused. But we have a few items in lieu of this experience we're having with bacteria and flu going around. We have some highly antibacterial soaps available. We just launched a few of them. We'll be putting that out in the next 4 to 5 days. Antibacterial soaps. We got the peppermint soap. All of these things are to help us with our immune system, and it is inside and out. You can't just work on the inside, not work on the outside, Jones. So we were told to wash our hands, but wash your hands with something of quality, something that's going to treat the bacteria so that you don't carry it on to your family, carry it on to your loved ones. So we just want to be a part of that and let the world know that we have the Dead Sea Scrub, we have the peppermint soap, we have the citrus basil ingredients just for the situation, high antibacterial products from Cultural Essence. So please, Facebook, Instagram, Cultural Essence.
Okay. So they just need to look up cultural essence and they'll find you.
You'll find us at Cultural Essence on Instagram, Cultural Essence on Facebook. If you need your brother, if you need me for anything whatsoever, don't hesitate to reach out to me at Arthur Derek Bonds on Facebook. at Arthur Derek Barnes on Instagram. Leave me a message. Give me your thoughts. Uh, Feedback is a strong medicine on this end. I think highly of positive criticism, always trying to do things better or looking for an opportunity to help someone else. Also, Joan, I know we're faced with this pandemic and a lot of other stuff, but in our communities, we're still suffering from violence among in our community. Do not hesitate to go out and get your book, The Science of Manhood, for your nephews, for your sons, even your daughters. It helps to inspire the heart to make better decisions. These are outstanding young men and women who are losing their lives in the street or taking lives. They just need to be redirected. And I want to help with that.
Okay. Awesome. So thank you so much, Derek, for taking the time out to go live with me here on this broadcast. I could hear a few little background noises here and there, but you know what? That's everywhere. Every news channel you watch, you're going to see that. That's just the norm. It is what it is. But
Unfortunately.
every system is overloaded right now, but that's okay. I believe that your message came across and it will be a blessing to someone else.
Thank
So
you.
thank you again for tuning into Influential Thursday. Thanks
Okay.
to everyone who watched the live show or who will be watching the replay. And don't forget, check me out on YouTube. And so
Yeah.
I started a new YouTube channel where I'm housing all these amazing interviews. And
That's
just
what's
look
up.
up Influential Thursday. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So again, thank you. You have one more thing to say, Derek?
One more, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to thank you, Joan. My wife and I wanted to thank you for the outstanding opportunity that you're giving myself and many other entrepreneurs and writers and so forth. You have a direct ear to the community, and we really appreciate you. And things as far as moving forward as a community cannot be done without individuals such as yourself. And I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you and the work that you're doing.
Awesome. I thank God for all that He has done to make that possible. You know, I'm just a message where you call. I'm just bringing the message forth. You know, none of this is done out of self. It's by
Yes,
divine orders. You know,
definitely.
so thank you again for joining in, and I wish you much success with your all of your businesses, you and your wife and your family. And so, listeners, remember that to be successful, you got to put in the work, okay? Remember, it takes both rain and sunshine to build a rainbow. You cannot just hope for something. Hope is not a strategy. You got to put in the work to make your life's goal a reality and to make it a success. So,
Yes.
with that being said, I ask you to join me next week when I will have Mr. Colin Henry out of Clarendon, Jamaica, West Indies, will be my guest next week. So, tune in. And I need for you to take care of yourself. And until next time, again, please take care and make this $1 million day. Jamaican Joan and author Derek Barnes out.